I was 5 or 6 years old. It was my idea.
That's my baby, no sir.
His name was Mr. Holmstock, and he opened and he owned one of those little family stores, grocery stores that are on every corner in Philadelphia. And we lived across the driveway from the store. And Mr. Holmstock used to sit out in front of the store on a warm day on a chair, just sit out front in front of the store, and somebody else would be running the store for him. And I was outside this one day just playing around with other kids, 3 or 4 other kids, and we ended up over there in front of Holmstock's store. I started walking around him, circling him and circling him and circling him and circling him, and then I got a glass of water. I turned the hose on and I put water in this container, and I'm walking around and I'm giggling and walking around this poor guy. He was elderly. I had this water and I could throw it on him and he couldn't grab me. And I'm circling him, and the other kids are doing, dancing around or yelling or doing what they do. Same age as me, practically. And all of a sudden, Holmstock says, "Don't you throw that water on me." And I threw it on him. And he jumped up and he yells for my sister, "Miss Schwartz, Miss Schwartz, Miss Schwartz." And she comes running out. I got all kinds of hell from her. What made me do that? I don't know. 6401 Dix Avenue, Philadelphia. That was our address. We lived in the corner house, and the corner house was right across the driveway from the store. By this time, I'm about 13. Jane was my friend, my Italian friend, my Italian girlfriend, who lived right across the driveway. And we were close in age, and we went to the same school. So every once in a while, we would say, maybe we won't go to school today, because her parents worked and nobody watched what I did. If we had 15 cents, that would take us to and from downtown Philadelphia. And we'd go downtown Philadelphia, and the best thing we would love to do, we'd go into Horn and Hard Arts Automat. It was a restaurant that put their cooked product in windows, little windows. The wall was full of little glass windows with all different kinds of food, and you'd put your coin in there, 25 cents or whatever it was, and the window would open. You'd get it out and carry it over to your table. It was all self-serve. It was terrific, and the food was excellent. We always had an excuse ready if somebody, an authority, walked up to us and would say something like, "Why aren't you in school?" Well, we always had a handwritten excuse in an envelope or something, and we would write the excuse ourselves. In order to get back in school, if you're out for a day, you have to go in with a message. Well, I had perfectly good handwriting, and I wrote all the messages. And even Joey, Jane's brother, every once in a while would bag school, and he would come to me and say, I need a note. Well, I got mad at Joey one time, and I would not write a note for him. He was almost out of his mind trying to get me to write a note for him, and I made him promise to me he would be nice to me forever if I wrote that note. One time we went bowling, and this is in the middle of a school day, and the guys that were setting up, and at that time, there were guys that set the pins up. It was not done automatically at that time. And we would go in there, and those guys would let us play for nothing. Joey, her brother, I would punish him by saying, I'm not going to write he wanted a note. I wouldn't write a note for him. And he had to beg me and beg me and beg me and do special things for me. Then I would write the note. I never did it with money. I just liked to see him beg me. I enjoyed having that control over him. Man, I would God, I was mean. He was a boy and he was not nice to girls a lot. I felt that way that day. I made darn sure he had to beg for a note.